game! Because I felt like it, I've decided to review two games for Sinclair ZX machines. One's very well known, the other is just endorsed crap. Hey, isn't it a bit late to do horror for Halloween? It ain't over until Scream Fortress is over! The ZX81 was a well-known British microcomputer before the Spectre came along. It only has a kilobyte of RAM at stock, no dedicated GPU, only black and white text graphics, and a really shitty keyboard. I imagine they feel like using a smartphone. Nevertheless, the original intent was for people to learn how to program using a standard manual, but then games have surfaced for the system in the form of cassette tapes, something that is common for other PCs at the time in Europe. This is one of the few games for the system, 3D Monster Maze by Malcolm Evans in 1982. Let me preface this by saying that I'm playing the Spectrum port made in 1997, but besides the title screen is completely identical to the ZX81 version. It is required that you have a Spectrum 128 though. So this fellow here entices you to explore the T-Rex's lair for some reason. Well, how he gets my money's worth, you use 7 to go forward and 5 and 8 to rotate left and right. Yeah. Thankfully I'm playing on an emulator where the numbers can be mapped to the arrow keys, but still, it would have been a lot better if 6 was the left key instead. The goal is simple, try to find the exit before the T-Rex hates you up. They seem to always get behind you no matter how far you are, so pay attention to the bottom of the screen. It basically plays like an early 80s version of Amnesia where you can't attack the fellow and you must leave the place unscathed. It's just that it doesn't have puzzles nor closets to hide in. Controls are okay if you want for the keyboard, although if you want to go left or right, you must be on a spot that is suitable to do so, and most of the time you might end up just before reaching it. When you do escape the maze, you start over again with your points carried over. All mazes are randomly generated, so no strategies here. For presentation, it's just simple text graphics to replicate the feeling of 3D, and the T-Rex isn't that scary, just funny looking, and I don't think they're supposed to have arms that big. By today's standards, it's a really simple game, but considering the hardware of it, it's a marvel. It's interesting to see and play a point in FPS history. Just be aware that what you see is what you get. On to the next game, but first, a word from our sponsors. I have none. Carlos Sainz Sr., and I'm gonna keep calling him that no matter how weird it might sound, is a Spanish rally driver who entered the motorsport world back in the 80s. He won the WRC twice in 1990 and 1992 with his Toyota Celicas, and was a master of the Safari Rally. If you ignore the times he retired due to mechanical issues. He's a legend in the WRC, having raced for Toyota, Ford, Subaru, and Citroën before moving on to the Dakar Rally, which he also won twice in the cars category, with his Volkswagen Touareg in 2010 and his Peugeot 3008 early this year. His offspring, Carlos Sainz Jr., is currently racing in Formula 1 and he's doing well. But since none of them aren't called Armindo Araújo nor Thiago Monteiro, I largely ignore them. In the realm of video games, there's this one game for the Spectrum by Cigarette Software in 1990, known as Carlos Sainz, Campeón del Mundo. I'll just gonna refer to it as that Sainz game. It is also available for the Amstrad CPC, MSX, and Ambient PC compatible machines, but as this is a Sinclair episode, I would not piss off Sir Clive, even if he doesn't like games on his computers. Here's up of a Toyota, one with a fixed lights that time. Is it Celica or Celica? I don't give a shit. So you have to get the fastest total time to win a rally to win the championship, and it's being played in a somewhat top-down perspective, similar to Mille Miglia, over the top. And unlike a previously reviewed Spectrum racing game, Rally Simulator, you don't need to press all the joystick buttons to get to a direction. All you need is go up, and left or right to turn, and actually down to brake. Maybe a bit confusing considering how it's viewed, but it's somewhat standard for top-down racers. Problem is that it's just shit. It's so jittery, the car keeps drifting when turning, it bounces back way further than it should when it crashed, and combined with how shoddy the frame it is, it's really unplayable. Like, look at this, I somewhat tried myself and couldn't get out of it, and this is stage 2 of Monte Carlo. I know it's a hard rally in real life, but at least there isn't as much bullshit thrown at you as this. I gave up on that part. So how does it compare to other versions? Well, here's the DOS version. It's similar looking to the CPC, but apart from that, it's largely the same, right down to the frame rate and the dodgy controls. So yeah, no matter the system, you get the same thing. What a surprise! Graphics are monochrome, but look nice at least. The same cannot be said about the sound, it just uses the PC beeper. That Sainz game was a letdown. I wasn't expecting much for a Spectrum game, despite the back of the box using screenshots from the CPC port, but for a 1990 DOS game, now you're just fucking with me. probably avoid it, no matter which version. You should rather be playing another Science the North game, Stunt Race FX. Oh dear, it's an unmarked one. I should probably check it out in my space room. Could be something interesting.